I'm Sari TM Kivinen. Tonight I'm doing a piece called Mining Doughnuts, the chapter about the red rug. It's a project that I've been working on for about a year now, and it involves telling a story over time but through participation. So often if I'm in a situation where I'm giving a public talk, I'll tell people about the synopsis a little bit. Maybe I'll tell them about the house that's in the story and where it takes place and a little bit about it, and then have a dialogue with the participants about it. And it's really about collective storytelling overall. In a way, it's an excuse, or it's a reason to make a performance piece. In a way, a tool, gathering information about a performance over time, or about a story over time. That's a kind of a long-term performance in a way. One of the main topics that I've been working with is stories about migration. So it's about moving from one geographical place to another. And when I was in Tromsø recently in Norway, and I asked all the people that were present it was a presentation just to talk, and I asked everyone to tell me where they're from and an experience of movement that they've had in their life. And then I was writing them all into a collective document at that time onto Blogger, onto a blog, onto one computer, and then I published it and then moved to the other computer that was hooked to the projection and showed them all their collective text in a way on the blog immediately. But it was really about how everyone in the room could contribute by telling about where they're from and experience of movement. And it's really a beginning in a way, but it was a way to make a point of contact. But tonight it'll be a little bit different. It'll be depending on what the participants are like. So some people might come in and we'll have a conversation. It's a very fragmented narrative, this sort of storytelling narrative thing, and it's very clear for me that there's a house and there's this room that has a red rug in it, and the house is in a small town. It's a mining town. But how much of what I tell about it in each situation, it varies. So I give people just some fragments, and I'm really interested in it being a beginning of a dialogue, and that they can contribute to that dialogue if they want to. Well, it's always been about Australia. So my history is, well, I grew up in a Finnish community in Australia, and then I moved to Finland 4 years ago. And that's been a big sort of effect on my identity. As a lot of people living in Australia, you're from somewhere else. So for me, it's always been a big part of my identity that I'm Finnish. But when I moved to Finland, I realised how Australian I am, and that's been really interesting to me. And then for some reason, a bit over a year ago, I just got fixated on this mining town, Mount Isa, which is a very well-known town. And I started writing a story about it. The story that I'm developing, it's kind of one thing, and there's this room in it that it's sort of my own fixation point, and that's what I'm presenting tonight. And then in a way I'll let people in to develop the story. But then in some other situations, I've been working more with the overall theme of it, which is migration and moving, and there's different identities overall, and but it's really like an exploration of these themes about the theme of migration and identity, and then my own fixation on this story and finding ways to let people maybe help me or develop their own contributions. I think I work best when I set up a framework, and then depending on the situation, so depending on the energy of the people in that moment. Maybe I'll be in the box most of the night by myself, I'm not sure, and maybe I'll interact in other ways, so then it will become more about my own interpretation of what's happening than anything else. But what I'm presenting is based on this ongoing idea, and but on the other hand, maybe I'll let people in, but depending really on what level they're on, if they want to have a discussion, then we'll have a discussion. If they're interested, I'll have a video camera. So I have these little cards with, if we get stuck, we can take instructions, and like a little score, like a little Fluxus score or something. spend 3 minutes telling your life story or something, these little impossible tasks, or make it with what I've told them about the synopsis, which is just going to be a couple lines, then, which is literally that this is a room in a house in a mining town, and the protagonist is named Laura, and she'll be standing at the doorway, and inside the room are 2 people sitting on a red rug. And then I'll be holding a sign that says 2 visitors are welcome. So then when those 2 visitors come in, if they come in, then they'll be sitting on the rug.